and welcome back to another episode of r/am I the a-hole. Sorry I haven't posted in a little while. I've been sick with a stupid chest infection, but this one will be longer so we can make up for it. And it is all going to be Mother's Day related because that is coming up, and I noticed there were quite a lot of posts on Mother's Day, so why not? If you are new or you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and we'll just get into the first one. Am I the a-hole for not letting my wife have Mother's Day after she cancelled Father's Day? So this is a little strange of a situation, but hear me out. I've been married to my wife for almost 7 years now, and we have 2 children, one 6 and the other 4. I love her, but she is a bit strange sometimes. She is very heavy anti-corporation government, you know the type. I'll give her credit and say she's very moderate with these views though, and not crazy. One of her big beliefs though is with holidays. She still celebrates holidays with the family, Christmas, Easter, etc. But she likes to keep them minimalist and not embrace the money side of things. We're not monsters though, we still buy our kids stuff for Christmas and for their birthdays, but we've tried to make them know that this is not what these days should be about, and that generosity, not materials, should be what we think about. Last year in June, my wife told me she doesn't want to celebrate Father's Day. Her reasoning was simple. She wanted our children to respect us every day and not make one day a special occasion for celebrating fathers or mothers. I was a little hesitant, but I agreed, and we took that day to try and teach them that. Well, now that Mother's Day is coming around, she's changing her tune. All of a sudden, she wants me and the kids to take her out for breakfast, buy her gifts, and do other things for her. I obviously told her no, that we didn't celebrate Father's Day, and this was her idea to begin with. All of a sudden, she got super upset and is claiming I'm the a-hole here. She's now saying we should celebrate both days, and it's unfair to her that we aren't celebrating Mother's Day. We fought about this last night and she's still mad about it. Am I being unfair here? No. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. If you don't need to celebrate Father's Day, then you don't need to celebrate Mother's Day. My parents were the same. They didn't celebrate either Mother's Day or Father's Day because every day should be Mother's Day and Father's Day. So it's not like it's a crazy idea, but you can't just not celebrate one and then celebrate the other. So not the a-hole. And the next one is, am I the a-hole for asking my husband to cut a trip to say goodbye to his aunt short so he can make Mother's Day? Throwaway account here. A little backstory. This is my first Mother's Day and I've been really looking forward to it. With my husband working like a dog to support us, taking care of the baby is 90% my responsibility. Not complaining because it's the agreement my husband and I have, but the countless days of having the baby all day by myself have really started to wear on me. Plus grad school finals. And I'm really itching to celebrate on Sunday. I've been working my A off for this year and I'm excited to celebrate my first Mother's Day as a mum. So let's get to this real situation. We have known that my husband's aunt has been terminally ill for the past year. Oh my God. But this morning we got news that she's transitioning to hospice care this week. My husband has expressed to me before that when she passes, he would likely need to go up and help his uncle, who had a major stroke a few years ago. Today was the first time they had spoken since our wedding last year, so they've been fairly distant relatives for a long time. In the 5+ years we've been together, we've seen them twice, and we don't really speak in between. So anyway, we're sitting on the couch this evening and talking about plans to go visit his aunt and uncle this week, and he suggests leaving Thursday and coming home Sunday, which I, albeit rather shortly, said Sunday's Mother's Day and you can't miss it. Well, that ignited a less than pleasant conversation that involved my husband calling me selfish for wanting to come home for Mother's Day, or for even trying to plan around death, and me being really disappointed that he didn't think my first Mother's Day was as important of a priority. He suggested that we do a make-up Mother's Day, but to be honest, I'm a bit of a purist and celebrating on a different day just wouldn't feel the same, which he didn't seem to understand. He understood that I wasn't asking him not to go, just be back for Mother's Day, but I think my disappointment upset him. I think he wanted me to just be okay with missing Mother's Day and for him to be able to freely support his uncle, which I understand. I also expressed frustration at having to take care of the baby alone on Mother's Day. I think the heart of the issue was that I was upset that he would be gone and he was upset that I was upset. The conversation did not go well and husband is now sleeping in the other room. I understand he feels obligated to his uncle and is grieving for his aunt, But at the same time, this Mother's Day feels like a huge milestone for me, and I'll be really upset he missed it. Am I the a-hole? Edit for context. Update. We spoke this morning and he agreed it was important to be home for Mother's Day. Thank you all for your judgment. I don't think I explained the nuances of what is going on very well, but I can take my A from all of you and move on. Yeah, I definitely do think you're being an a-hole. I can understand being frustrated, but if he was coming home on the Sunday, he would still be there for some of Mother's Day, and there's really nothing wrong with celebrating on a different day. Yeah, I feel sorry for your husband. Next one is, will I be the a-hole for not sending my sister a Mother's Day card when she asked me to? For background, I'm the youngest amongst my siblings and only one who is not a parent. Our mother was neglectful and abusive. When I was older, my siblings would want to buy expensive gifts for Mother's Day that I would go in on, even using student loan money. But as we've all gotten older, to my relief, it's become less of a thing in our nuclear family. If they go out for a meal, I'll join, but I don't give flowers cards to my mother, although they do. My older sister is several years older than me and was parentified, having to take care of me when she was herself a kid. Think bathing, feeding, putting me to bed. We are not that close now as we are very different people, and she's been pretty harsh in the past about the fact she's had to take care of me and commenting on how I have it so easy because I'm not a mother and don't know how hard her life is. But more recently, we've tried to mend our relationship. Some years ago, she told my siblings she finds it hurtful that I don't wish her a happy Mother's Day. She didn't talk to me for a while because of it. Since learning that, I've texted her on the day to wish her. She's now been a mother for almost 10 years, and recently she expressly stated to me that it would mean a lot for her to receive a Mother's Day card from me this year. I feel a little weird about this because I don't care for Mother's Day, and I don't get if my sister wants a card as a surrogate mother to me or as a sibling who's a mother. In either situation though, I just don't see why it's necessary. However, it doesn't require much effort on my part, and it seems to be a big deal to her. Will I be the a-hole for not sending one? I mean, like, if you just say to her you don't celebrate Mother's Day, you don't really need to send her a card. I don't think she's an a-hole for asking for one, I guess, if she helped raise you, but there's no obligation there for it. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to go see mother-in-law for Mother's Day? I'm on the phone, so sorry for editing. Long rant. Backstory. Been with hubby 10 years, we have 2 boys and live our own life. Mother-in-law is not just a no, but also not a just yes. I don't understand that. Wait. Mother-in-law is not a just no, but also not a just yes. To be honest, she's nothing. She seems completely disinterested in her own son and grandkids. Hubby is the black sheep of the family. He's done some crappy things, but now he's a good husband, great father. We have our own home, run a business, and all in all are upstanding members of the community. He doesn't really talk to her. Even before his dad passed away almost 2 years ago, he never really had a lot to do with his family. But he tried. We would continually go to them, invite them places. His dad was disabled, so it made things a lot harder, but we tried. Except things never seemed enough. They couldn't, wouldn't come to the kids' birthday parties, so we'd have to have another one. Came to our wedding after telling us we had to invite random. They sat with my parents and informed them in a roundabout way that at least our oldest wasn't a bastard anymore because we are now married. Anyway, we didn't see her for Easter because I and our youngest were sick. He had croup and was almost hospitalised. Since the golden child / granddaughter, hubby's sister and her daughter, are doing something else for Mother's Day, we have been summoned to see her. Would I be the a-hole if I tell hubby to go alone? I don't want to spend my day travelling to see her, her to ignore me and boys and talk about grandchild, granddaughter, and get hubby to work around the house is in. From what I understood from that, I don't even think your hubby should go, really, to spend the day at your place. Not the a-hole. And yet another one is, am I the a-hole? We're not wanting to spend Mother's Day with my mum. There's more to the story than my clickbait title. I currently live in Colorado, but my parents live in New York. I try to fly out to visit as much as I can, and sometimes it's too expensive. I've been planning to fly out June for my sister's child being born and just to visit. I'm also a music teacher both in school and also for private students through another company. We're coming to the end of the school year here with a big concert at the end of the year, also our spring recital through the company that I teach privately. And there's one minimum requirement with the company I work for that if I ever have to miss a day of lessons, I'm required to make them up within the month. I don't just get to miss the day. Unfortunately, yesterday my mum's step-grandfather passed away. I've been flipping my schedule all around, finding a substitute teacher to teach her at the school and someone to cover my lessons for the recital coming up. I got it down that I would fly to New York Wednesday night and fly home early Sunday so I could still teach the students I have, and then we're doing makeups Monday, Tuesday, the entire day. The company's recital is the following Wednesday and the school concert is the following Thursday. Even with this plan, I'm not able to do all the lessons for my students, so I'm having to give up my only day off Saturday for the next 2 weeks as well. Then my mum realised that Sunday is Mother's Day and told me not to fly out and wait until Monday. The issue being, if I fly out Monday, I have an extra 16 private students that I would need to make up their lesson for, all of what you wanted done before Wednesday. I tried to talk to my parents that originally I wasn't supposed to be able to fly out at all, and even doing so Wednesday night to Sunday morning is extremely hard for me to get work. My mum then called me crying, saying I was selfish and I wouldn't even spend one day of the year with her. I'm trying to be understanding that her stepfather just passed away, but I still have 2 full days with them besides an extra day of funeral arrangements in the service. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to spend Mother's Day in New York so that I don't let down on my students preparing for the end of the year? As an added note, I'm already trying to make sure I can get that Sunday off to be there, but I still feel like the a-hole for really despising it. No, you're not the a-hole for that. I mean, you have obligations as well. You've really drastically changed around it, sacrificing your day off to be able to go down and see them during this obviously hard time for them. You don't have an obligation to stay there any longer than you physically can stay there, and you shouldn't be fired or risk getting fired over something like this. Like, you have obligations that you need to meet and you're doing your best. Like, you're still making it out there. You're not going. Am I the a-hole for not staying with my mum on Mother's Day? So basically, in my country, Mother's Day is tomorrow, which happens to be the same day that an important event happens in my university, basically a parade. I really wanted to both have lunch with my mum and then leave for my university, which is about 2 hours away from where I live. This parade is important to me because it'll be the last for some friends of mine, and I really wanted to be present. The thing is, train schedules are a bit iffy. The ideal train for me to take would be there one at 1 p.m, but my mum said that's too early, and I said, well, it's either that or I can't stay because the other one arrives super late and I'll miss the festivities. And basically now she's mad at me because I'd rather go to the parade rather than staying. She even called me ungrateful and said that I don't appreciate her, although I tried to conciliate both things. So am I the a-hole for going to the parade rather than having lunch with my mum on Mother's Day? I mean, like, you can still have lunch and make it to a station before 1 p.m. Just have an early lunch. Like a lunch at 11 o'clock. It's fine. Like, you're not the a-hole. Will I be the a-hole if I donate vaccines to children in other countries in my anti-vax mum's name for Mother's Day? So backstory, my sister and I were both fully vaccinated. We are healthy adults now, thanks modern medicine. But our mum, who moved to Florida about 10 years ago, has become an anti-vaxxer. She breeds Doberman show dogs and got really into essential oils. She stopped vaccinating her dogs for all the ones that they need to show, and that has apparently morphed into full anti-vax beliefs. The last time she visited me, she told me that had she known better, she would never have vaccinated myself and my sister. I replied that I'm glad I didn't lose any of my legs to polio, and we haven't talked about it since. In our family, we generally donate to charities in each other's names for gift-giving holidays. With Mother's Day coming up, I've been reflecting on the privilege that I have as a mother and being able to provide for my son and think about others who are not able to do the same. I believe that children should be given every advantage to succeed, and vaccines are a huge component about that. I would like to be able to provide that for other mothers. I know it's definitely passive-aggressive, but if I donate vaccines in her name, would that be a D move? I know I could donate other helpful things that probably wouldn't rock the boat, but I also think this is a gentle way to bring attention to something that matters. I don't think it's just crap for me to hijack Mother's Day as a platform when I can use my resources to help other mums, but maybe I'm just an a-hole. So, it is an a-hole thing to do, but oh my god, that is so funny, you should do it. And then film the reaction and post it online so that we can all see it, because that would be bloody hilarious. And And getting to the last one for today. Am I the a-hole if I ask my family to go to Legoland without me so I can stay in the hotel by myself on Mother's Day? We have 4 kids, ages 21, 17, 9 and 5. The 5-year-old's birthday is also on Mother's Day. She is truly the gift that keeps on giving. For her birthday, we're all going to Legoland and staying in a hotel. I was just daydreaming about staying home behind by myself. I can take a long quiet bath, get room service and hours of uninterrupted sleep. I can swim in the hotel pool without little kids constantly calling, "Mummy, look!" This feels selfish since it's her birthday and I can't have her sad on her special day if I don't go. I've been working overtime for the past 2 months and I'm just so tired, but I'm afraid I might miss out on a precious moment in her life if I don't go. Nobody has asked me what I want for Mother's Day yet. If they do, I'm thinking of asking them if I can stay behind at the hotel. It's a cheap present, right? Wow. Why don't you just let them go do something else for a couple of hours while you have a little bit of a rest and pamper yourself? But you really, really are an a-hole for not wanting to spend your daughter's birthday with her. Anyway, that is it for today. Please hit that like button if you liked it and let me know your thoughts, if you agree, disagree, why not, all that jazz. And I will see you in the next one.